You have a learning goal, and we have just one job to help you achieve it and deliver at your convenience. Learning right starts with us at Ashem Academy. We are a learning institute in partnership with professional industry bodies like Microsoft, PECB, Pearsonville, and PSI, delivering quality training, ensuring your certification path in respective industries. Ashem Academy has training specialists with extensive consulting experience as well as the expertise to address your specific needs and preferences. Our goal is to deliver training that maximizes return on people and infrastructure investments. We define success as having the right resources to skill you up to help you meet your desired goals. Our job at Ashem Academy is to empower you to be successful at every stage of the learning journey, from training to certification to establishing professional credibility. As a certified learning partner and authorized testing center, our facility has proven to be one of the best in the country as we get to reach the needs of all ages, young, middle-aged, and those in the advancing years, making learning simple and affordable. We care about your skill development, and without breaking the bank, we present you with great opportunities to showcase your competency and expertise in your area of specialty, aiding career advancement or personal goals tracking. Let's help you bridge that learning gap. All you have to do is take the next step to enroll in our courses today with prices that are easy on your wallets. Request access to our training calendar by emailing training@ashem.com, and you can also get the most of your learning investments by checking out our promotional offers here. offers.ashem.com/ms learning. You can call 0704-636-7151 or call 0704-576-9927. You can visit our head office at number 9 Ibikunle Street off Abad Macaulay Way, Yaba, Lagos State.
Hello, I'm David Okeode, Principal Instructor at Kavis Cloud, 4 times Microsoft MVP and author of multiple books on cloud security. I would like to speak with you about our courses at Kavis Cloud. First, we are cloud security focused. We maintain an unbiased stance towards vendors, and we cut through all the typical marketing jargon in many trainings out there. We help you to understand things as they really are. The second thing that's unique about our courses is that we are multi-cloud focused. Our multi-cloud security courses covers the top 3 public cloud platforms out there: AWS, Azure, and GCP. Our instructors are not just trainers, they are seasoned professionals with real-world experience. The third reason is that our training modules are designed to provide practical hands-on experience. Our courses are packed full of hands-on labs that you find engaging and interesting. And finally, our prices are the best out there. I encourage you to check out our upcoming courses on our website and also testimonials from our students. See you soon at www.kaviscloud.com.
Digitization simplifies the way we collect data. Organizations collect data from multiple touchpoints to enable them to make effective, profitable, data-driven decisions. Yet, a lot of data just sits there. Why? Well, organizations operate 2 systems: operational or transaction systems and analytic systems. Operational systems are data repository, where you execute business processes. Analytic systems are where you make sense of your data and evaluate business processes. Analysts spend 80% of their time cleaning and preparing data to update routine reports, and only 20% of their time truly brainstorming on the numbers and extracting insight from that data. The result? Less time to ask the right questions about their data. and less time to pull variable insights that can improve your bottom line. At D. Brown Consulting, we have a better approach. We empower you to extract insights from your data at the speed of thought. We employ a curated methodology that simplifies the analytic build process to eliminate technical friction, making it easier for everyone in your organization to get the exact data they need securely. The best part? All of this can be done without relying on overburdened IT teams. D. Brown Consulting offers consultancy services in building, reporting, and analytics systems. As Microsoft Gold partners, we offer business process automation solutions with no-code and low-code applications, chatbots, and robotic process automation engines, and financial modeling services. We visualize our reports, dashboards, and analytics using the principles defined by the International Business Communication Standards, IBCS. The use of standardized notation eliminates ambiguity and ensures consistency in the design of your visualizations for more effective data storytelling. Are you looking to achieve more with your data? Contact us today. Visit dbrownconsulting.net.
Why is the server down?
We just lost access to finance.
In business, sometimes one breach can shut everything down.
We recovered some files, but we're losing data again. If this leaks, we're finished.
When systems fail, guesswork is expensive.
There's a company I met recently, Covenant Technology. Everyone step away from the systems.
Consultation, solutions, expertise.
We're back online. How did you do this so fast?
At Covenant Technologies, we don't just fix problems, we prepare businesses for them.
Covenant Technology. Build smarter. Secure better.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Microsoft Local-Host-Surulere. Welcome everyone in the auditorium, those online, those joining us all across the globe, everywhere you are. We say welcome to today's session. So today's session we have lined up so many great activities, so many speakers, and trust is going to be an interesting one. You're going to love it. So I'm going to encourage you to, wherever you are, get your systems down, get your notepad, get everything in order. We are about to start. So before are we going to yes. Go ahead. So once again, we say welcome to today's session. We'll be having our first speaker. We'll be having our first speaker and I want you to get it. It's going to be an interesting one. This speaker is loaded. I mean loaded. When I mean loaded, what he's going to teach you today, you're not going to forget it. So I want you to please write it down. Yes, you're not going to forget it, but you really need to take notes. You really need to get this written down. You really need to practice that. So right now, I want to welcome our first speaker. Of the day. So wherever you are online, just give me your clapping emoji as we welcome the first speaker for today. Thank you very much. It's going. So far. So as the third speaker, we are having Mr. Paul Barnabas, and this is Mr. Paul Barnabas is a data and AI practitioner. He's also a Microsoft certified trainer. Come on now, give it for him. Give it for him, yeah. That's it. So you're going to be learning a lot today. You're going to be learning a lot from him. He's going to be taking a session right now. So I want you to get ready. It's going to be a wonderful one. Thank you so much once again.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for this session. My name is Paul Barnabas, and I will be over the next couple of minutes speaking around Claude and agent harness on Microsoft Foundry. Okay, so when we talk about Claude, or we talk about agent analysis, right? What this simply means is more like a wrapper around agents. As we are very much aware, we are currently in the AI and agentic world, and everything happening around the world now is simply based around AI. And one of the things we are going to be able to explore in this section is to understand the importance of harnesses, to see how we can do it in the context of Microsoft Foundry, and how we can essentially improve productivity within an organization. To give a bit of insight, right, we have seen a bit of maturity in the AI space over the last couple of months. And then we've seen where from just being able to ask an LLM, help me solve this, build an internal, help me resolve this challenge, or speaking general insights, we have seen some level of maturity taking off the ability to control, right? We can set up agents, and these agents can be autonomous in nature. These agents can be built to address and achieve different things, right? The first level of this concept is addressing intelligence, right? Is addressing intelligence, and this is what we are seeing with the LLMs. As we see in recent times, they are releasing LLMs from either Claude, right? We are seeing the Claude from Anthropic. We are seeing Gemini from Google. We are seeing different models coming up, right? From OpenAI, we are seeing 5.6 as the case may be, and so on and so forth. Now, what is happening is with each of these different releases, right? They are getting more intelligent, they are getting more smarter, right? And if you also understand, there is a journey to achieve AGI, artificial general intelligence. And what this means is that these models will be so smart, so capable, you give them instruction, and they're able to act on their own. They're able to respond, to different information and in an adaptive manner. On top of that intelligence, we now have the agent runtime, right? This is essentially what is driving the ability of a particular agent to be able to interact with an LLM, right? It's what is responsible for activities, right? And then the next level is human and agent collaboration. Now, beyond the fact that you are just essentially engaging with these LLMs, right? You can also interact with them. And the access, the collaborative platform has been democratized. We would also see within this space where we interact with some of our agents via different instances. We would see how that works. And then most importantly, what Microsoft is providing on top of all of this is trust and security. If you followed the maturity of Claude and the era of Claude, you will understand that at the initial there were struggles around security, right? There were struggles around how can I run the autonomous agents in a secure manner. And then you see people having to deploy this on PDS. You say, okay, you're deploying these solutions, don't deploy them on your local machine, because some of them can go ahead and delete sensitive information. Some of them, in some cases, they can go and do things, that you are not really instructed to do. So, because of that, it's essential that trust and security is built into whatever it is you are doing when it comes to agents. Moving on to the next slide. We will just quickly run through some of the maturities we've seen over the last 6 months, right? I think Claude launched early this year, and then some few months down the line, we saw the emergence of Hermes. And as we are speaking today, Hermes is currently the #1 in the world in terms of usage, in terms of adoption, because of some of the peculiar similarities, peculiar features that it has. Some of which involves self-learning. It's able to learn as you are engaging with it, create skills that ensures that anything you do or you do repeatedly, he understands and is able to guide you better. So instead of it going through several stages trying to resolve that, it simply uses its previous memory and resolves that issue. Right? So we have seen some of those maturity. Beyond that also is the fact that they are becoming autonomous, right? So they become so good now, some of them are able to build end-to-end applications, right? Coding agents also have seen a lot of maturity. In fact, with some of the releases we have seen in the last couple of weeks, games can be built on purpose. You can see building of games on purpose. Some of these models have become very, very efficient. Then we now have the deployable system, which essentially is building different things. Discuss that in this session. From tools to skills, to skill bundle, all of these different things, and what is making and empowering some of these things. Right? And yeah, so we can see the maturity of the last 6 months. Now, what is an agent harness? So an agent harness is just a wrapper around a model, right? A wrapper around an agent. And an example of this is we would call an agent like a model. For example, an engine itself. But an engine cannot do anything. It cannot do. It's just going to run on its own. It doesn't have any significant impact on the user. But if you put an engine in a car, right, then yes, you have something that you can use. You have a vehicle that you speak from point A to point B. And that's what an agent harness is. Okay. Let's go to it. Okay. So as I was saying, I just finished explaining the context of agent harness. So it's just explaining the wrapper around an agent. And what it does is that it gives different capabilities to the agent. And we've seen the maturity of that over the last couple of months. So I will talk about the different components of internet, right? One thing we need to understand is we are trying to empower, we are trying to give capabilities to LLM, right? When I mean LLM, I'm talking about the likes of GPT 5.5, right? And Claude Focus, Claude Haiku, and so on and so forth. All these things are just standalone LLMs. But we build in harnesses around these LLMs to ensure that we can either achieve specific things or we can do multiple things at the same time. And then ensure that we can also act in an autonomous nature. So the first thing is the agent loop. And what this means is that you can set a prompt, you can set an instruction, you can set it to an agent, right? But to be harnessed, and is able to go in an iterative manner until it resolves or achieves what the objective is. That's the second thing is the complex management layer. And this talks about memory. So, right now, the ability and the maturity of an agent depends on what you expose it to. If you give it the capability to be able to make use of tools, examples of tools are like MCP, Microsoft context, right? Model context processing. What that means is that it's giving that LLM the ability to engage with external data, right? So you can, for example, Microsoft Link, right? In Microsoft Link, you are empowering that model to interact with the website. Trying from your website. And give you a response. That way, that they have a particular data and it's up to speed, it's live, right? And respond real time, empowering into the tools. Right? Those are like key elements of awareness. Right? The next skills are right. So what skills is this? When you talk about AI, it's a standard. It is a standard set of skill. What you are doing is giving that model or that agent a persona. So you can say assume that skill, and based on what you find within that skill, is able to do step by step processes to build what you want to achieve. So that way, it's more personalized. So you can build marketing skills, backend, code reviewer, you can build skills in those different areas, and is able to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So some of the tools that I've said, MCP, right, also have Google AI. This is also a tool that models or your analysis can make use of. Have file system. So if you have data stored on your local machine, Harness is able to interact with it, either create, edit, update, as the case may be. Then it can also write code. It can do coding and different things, right? And the most important run PowerShell, create file on too. So these are all the things that agent handles. Then we've seen the maturity of they are able to spin up agents. You can have an orchestrator agent which will define, and then say for example you want to do a landing page for a marketing website, and then you set up an orchestrator that has that skill, right? It's able to go and leverage on building external or extra agents to achieve it. So it builds an agent for frontend, that one does it, builds another agent for backend, does the backend, it builds another agent for code review, and then they are all engaging. All of them is engaging with master orchestrator agents, and they are going back and forth, right? So those are some of the activities that an agent harness typically have. Then we have memory and session persistence. What this simply means is that everything is stored, right? It keeps record of every session that you are running. So you can always go back, right? You can essentially even build the persona, user persona for that particular agent. So for example, say that agent you want it to be a personal assistant. You can train it in such a way that it understands you as a user, your skills, the things you do, your job, and so on and so forth. So you can set it up in such a way that every morning, run a workflow for me, identify what are the different opportunities out there, and share them with me. Another thing is, what are the items I need to work on? It's interacting with my calendar and it's giving me some information. It's even giving me something on how I should prepare for the meetings I'm having in the future. Right? So all of these things are happening, storing the memory, and then it's learning from that iterative process. Then we have lifestyle rules, life cycle rules. So what this just simply means is that it's the ability to prompt and trigger sequential processes. So an agent runs, it carries out, it gets to a particular point, calls the LLM to do to carry out an action. The LLM understands that before it can carry out that action, it needs to trigger a tool. And it reaches out to the tool, it does that, it gets off the action, synthesizes it, and then it gives you feedback. So all this typically falls under the life cycle, which is built into management. And then we have the permissions and human in. So when you see this HITL, is human in. What this simply means is that you are also in control. As much as you give your agent that autonomous functionality, you also can take the reins and direct it and say, okay, fine, go in this direction. So you can set all of this up, right? And this gives the flexibility. Remember what we're talking about is ensuring that there's collaboration. Part of what we saw in the last slide was building from intelligence and so on. So the last part is ensuring that you can collaborate, ensuring to guide that agent in the right manner and direction. So looking at this in the context of Microsoft Foundry, this is just a high-level chat on some of the capabilities that an MS agent deployed on Foundry has, right? First of all, there's the ID terminal, meaning that you can make use of something like Visual Studio to set up, build, and deploy your agents. You start it locally, you test run it, and then you push to Microsoft. You have all those capabilities, and also leverage on GitHub some existing repos, pull in some of this information. So one thing we also understand talking about the likes of Plug and Chemist. These are open source harnesses, right? That you can leverage on. You can customize them. It means that you can fork those repos, right? Add whatever feature you customize it probably to your customer's need or to your own need, and then deploy them and use accordingly. So those are some of the things that you have on this platform. Then for enterprise, it means you can take it a bit further, right? A collaborative platform is within your purview. So you can use things like Slack, you can use things like Microsoft, you can use things like Telegram. I will showcase the use of Telegram, where you can use to engage with these agents. So the agents are deployed sitting there in Microsoft, but you have that flexibility, choosing whatever tool, and then engaging with those agents. And as I said, every day use, so I have things set up in the morning and end of the day, things like that, and then you're also engaging. Most importantly, when you look at it from the perspective of the runtime, let's start from the bottom. You can see collective wisdom. You generate skills, as I was saying, that one of the advantages of Hermes over Claude is that Hermes is able to learn on the go, right? It's able to be on itself. So as you ask it some information, it goes and creates customized skills that is able to, so when you come back, it's able to use those existing skills to provide new. Team workflows means you can set up workflows, but then it's triggering different activities at the same time and they're interacting with each other. Moving on to the self-improvement that I just discussed. See, through its acts, it captures it, and then what does it do? So it learns that it has it in memory. It's able to just, so the response time is faster. It's not like it's always going back to ground zero anytime it wants to do an activity. When you send it a prompt, it goes to check, have I done this before? Do I have a skill? Yes, it uses that skill. Then it's able to give feedback response. Then we have the shell secure sandbox, right? We gives you ability to run execution, file isolation, things like that. And then most importantly is the reasoning, active memory, too. So all these are capabilities that has been put into MEs that makes it one of the superior and the best in the world. An environment, you have your laptop local deployments, you can do it on the private server, in enterprise, right? Only hosted. These are the different. So I will do it here, right? I will show it from the perspective of in this one. So I have this video. Can also show this. Okay, so as you can see, I'm here. It's where I'm going to
I've installed Hermes and validate by just launching the Hermes command, and this will take me into the TUI, the terminal user interface of Hermes, where I can then engage with it. Now, as I said, this is one example of deploying Hermes within a
VPS. And also how it deployed with Microsoft Foundry. And the most important thing here is that it's just we having the ability to engage. Right? It gives us different possibilities. All the agents, the empower is the different zones that are required. And then so this is the instance that and as you can see, it's showing you Hermes agents, right, as the name of the tool. Currently, that agent, right, as I can see, these are different tools that are available to use within the agent. Some of the MCP servers that I can engage with and available skills, right. So I can ask questions like, what I'm asking the question, what is the update on my today's task? Now, take note, before I'm able to ask this question, there are several things that have gone behind the scene. I have created a user profile, which that's whether you talk about myself, what I do, skills, the things I run, the things I run, and things like that. So when I'm asking questions, I also provided you some projects that I'm working. So when I ask a question like what it does, it goes, look through the references I've provided it, look through some of the information that has been there, and it tries to run down the table. And as you can see, it's running, you can see it's trying to create the to-do, it's creating the session search, and that's one of the things that we talk about as the importance or as the skills or advantages of MS that is able to go back, search, like what have I created before? Is doing that. He's also checking the cron job. Why is he doing that? Because I have set up cron jobs, right, which are just activities, automated activities that run at a particular time. And he's checking the feedback of that information and is able to give me a response. Right. So he does that, he does the recall, he launches the cron job, processes the information, and then as you can see, showing me a bit of information about some of the steps, things that can based on the timeline. It's even giving me information about the weather because he understands I'm currently in Lagos. These are some of the information that I've provided it. It's also giving me information as regards top news because I have an agent that I've set up that is pulling out what are the top AI news or tech news happening. So it's giving me information about the specific that it's going live, so on and so forth. So this is an example of me interacting with this this agent. Now, from the perspective of looking at this within
in Visual Studio Code, right? So this is within the IDE, right? So this is Visual Studio. I can also go ahead and set up agents using the Foundry Toolkit extension, right? With it, I integrate with my instance of Microsoft Foundry in the cloud, right? I'm able to go and set up agents. In the next demo, see how we go about setting up simple agents that use Microsoft Foundry. So before we move on to the next part, we just explore the Inter Foundry. So when you log into Microsoft Foundry, this is how it looks like, right? You have the ability to create agents, as the case may be. Now take note that this is sitting on an instance of Azure, right, where you have some story that such set up to when you go ahead and agent, right, set up all of see how we're able to begin layout abstractions. So moving back to slide, we talk about the Microsoft agent, right? Now we talk about and beauty of this, not just using an environment that it means that we can use them within an environment as control within Microsoft Foundry. And then Microsoft has also gone an extra mile building an agent framework, meaning that you can leverage on this framework to interact with your existing agents. You can build further capabilities against an agent, right? Against an harness. That's what we're going to do in this next step. Now, the Microsoft, there are three major bedrocks. We have the workflows, we have MS, and we have agent in this context. So, MS, in this case, are core agents, right? We have workflows using the Microsoft Agent framework. So those workflows will leverage on an agent, harness, all of those deep interactions with the element, right? And then the agent group were able to build the sequence. So let's consider this. Let's look at the agent group. Now, within the Microsoft Event Framework, right, we have the agent itself. And under this, we have the foundry model. Now, this is bedrock, as I said, the engine. But the engine cannot work without the engine, right? So things like models like GPT 5.1, 5.5, and so on and so forth, you can engage with them like Microsoft Foundry models, right? You have the Foundry tools where you can leverage on OpenAI interfaces and MCPs and so on and so forth, or even the local tools to interact with files within that environment. And then you have the Foundry hosting, right? So all these serve as the function for the agent, right? And then the next thing is the providers, right? So we have the Foundry prompt agents, we have the Copilot Studio agents, the A2A agents, and source and industry standard, the industry standard recognition means that if you buy something on standard, agents can come to the case where you have the cloud agents, right? CLI agents. So you have to enable agent, right? Leverage on the skills in Microsoft, right? To agent interaction that you want to do. So moving on to workflows, right? So there are different types of workflows that you can build as a case of. So your sequential workflow,
You have the handoff workflow, the auto operating workflow, and the magnetic workflow. So the question is that you go to order, right? It goes to one step, doesn't start the next step without finishing the previous one. And it goes through that flow until it completes the workflow. So have the, and that speaks a bit to something that I was trying to explain. When you design it in such a way that you can spin up multiple agents at the same time. It has an orchestrator, which is the guy sitting in the center, right? It's the one that gets in that way, and is able to, based on sequence of how he wants to treat that response or treat that request, he hands it over. So he spin up another agent that will run through it, gives the orchestrator a feedback, and he goes through that, and so on and so forth. And by the time every one of the sub-agents are done, the orchestrator agent is able to give the response. So that's how that particular workflow works. Then we have the auto encrypting, and this is built in such a way that, so for example, for code development, right, it goes, the front end agent runs through, it just goes through all the things that needs to be gone through, and then the critique agent essentially goes and builds like a test script, right? You run through that test script what you use to validate what has been. If the test script runs successfully, then it gives you a pass, right? So that is an example of an option. And then we have the magnetic. And this also still leverages on build up from handoff. Most importantly, is referencing additional information to complete that process. You can also go ahead and build custom workflows. So it's within your workflow, and that's why the framework is available. So you can decide which workflow works for you, customize it, or combine even multiple workflows together to build exactly what it is like. So harness. Let's talk about the harness, right? These are some of the common features that you have that you can use within the Microsoft Agent framework. The file system access, the ability to do execution, shell executions also, right? And all of those things. And within the context, you have your prompts there. We've talked about skills. You can define skills. Skills can be created to address different unique scenarios and reused accordingly. Then it also sets up memory, where you can have memories connected to information as regards every activity that's happening. You can always go back in time and reference those memories. We have plans where it's able to set up those different things. Set up sub-agent, as the case may be. And then the middleware is where you can create context compression, tool selection. So these are those ways you can optimize the interaction across different tools and then the activity. Now, these are also some specific, I'll call them agents. To respond to their sources, validate those sources they are commercializes all this and it gives you a response. That's an example. An example is articles for from cartoons and video coding. There's a lot we are seeing different things from 3D games to cloud solutions to different types of applications built currently agents. So plot, for example, one of the mature, right? Using the work plus moving it outbound. Some of these agents are a bit more powerful for us. They are able to achieve exceptional things when it comes to code. Then we have goal-driven agents. So this means you can set up a goal, right? You can set up a goal to a particular agent, define it, and then build it. And it's able to leverage on the harness carry out activity. So this is just a high level as regards to different frameworks for Bedrock that we have in the Microsoft workflows, harness, agent. Okay, so let's look at this in terms of the different packages that can be used for building an agent, right, using the MEF, which is Microsoft. So we have the agent group, complex management, skills and the tools, the sub-agents, session persistence, all these things. Currently, some of them use what we can also do research and session. So you can leverage on this link, this link of this agent. Then it is more about it. Now, one thing is become more useful. Microsoft are able to set agents, fine-tune them, test them, and most importantly, point them to the true authorities. Right. So we're looking at how to bring, we started just talking about schemes, which is an open source solution. Going on to do it. So we bring it within the context environment. You know, you can build those harnesses and then deploy them. Deploy them Microsoft, right? Microsoft and Copilot Studio and leverage on some of these agents. So the beauty of this now is that you can deploy it organization-wide. All the security features, all the ability to use work IQ, you know, ability to engage with your emails, everything are now available agents and so when you are asking it questions, it's giving you more contextual information. So that's the beauty of Microsoft. So I'm going to look at these points so that we can understand what it takes next. So I will go Microsoft company as I this is where this is like essentially you can also deploy right? You can create more of this platform and engage with it within trust. Make use of C# essentially and deploy them into so from all of those different options for you to do. For example, let's just like we'll be calling agents then to achieve this to my agents to leverage on the tool software as a source. So when I want to learn, say about MCPs, for example, it's able to go leverage on MCP tool, Microsoft Learn, have information there in the rest. This is just an example. So you can use an example of an office productivity. You have some things you do on it. So you can itemize all of these things, right? So maybe on if you identify which ones require a response, and look at my to do. What are the items I've said? If me and that should continue from, you know, so it helps you all of that. Right, resume work immediately just gives you that from that's you can now go to the chat experience and then to talk. You begin to give you open this, do this, do that. Or simply is help you generate email responses. What you do is email responses. So different people and what is this doing for us in the June 2026 is that the time it takes for us to first like 30 basis for email reviews or some activities where we even have like news yesterday and we able to action immediately jotted notes down. If you have the transcript of the meeting, you can just tell it to create action packs for you based on the meeting meeting. So you are able to. So these are the key things you can achieve using AI. So we are creating this is called learning. So let's go ahead. Because see this interface is slightly familiar with similar to that. So you can see this interface. You have the playground, right? One of the first things you are seeing is the model, right? You can we have by default also go ahead and run which model works for you. In this case, Sonnet, so Sonnet. Right, so I'll choose. I think it's not really. This is how it is. Also, and then you choose that model. So let's stick to this one. You can also come out with the engage your agent just because we able to right that's from process. Every agent requires a system point or an instruction. And this agent the person to engage. What we'll come back. Next thing is an example is website. So say you want to give the agent the ability to go online, search for additional information, more references, come back and give it information. It's able to do that, right? So you can set that. You can go ahead and add new, right? You can right. You can. You also can point browse. This will be an interview, right? We'll see types of tools. You can see from AI, research, and so on and so forth. Work IQ, fabric IQ, fabric, context fabric, semantic. You have access to databases, things like that. Those information, right? And so in this case, we are leveraging on the Microsoft Learning. See here. This fine code is a memory database. Memory database. I think we also need to understand is that information in like AI, so these databases are what is called actionable this information. So when you want to retrieve this, you can also file. So you have all of those things. Then knowledge, you can additional knowledge. This is something like foundry IQ connect to the contextual knowledge information software. Then still have information. That also is very important. And what is simply define an agent should know So you are able to do X, Y, Z. But take note, if you want to delete a file, always ask for permission. Right? Or you can tell it out, you do not delete the file. Do not ask for permission. And in the case where you also in response to that, refer them to something. So those are in your agent. So let's go ahead. Instruction. And agent. Remember key consultation. Use review questions. And encourage you and identify support in your response. Use the and right. So more information. Maybe have added Microsoft Build. Public interact with this agent. We also then from there, let's get the response. What's happening now? To engage. Yeah. As you can see, and from right, so right. All these are not just run from the internet. Empower CSP server to be used. MCTNAIJA information on another thing I can use the evaluation skills to fine tune that agent. All of now I will just from I asked questions. Go behind the scenes, interacting with to see the rest. Right. So what is the leverage on which is so I just start the internet and comes back. We have been go through the different around Hermes, the difference between Hermes and God. See how as autonomous agents you work across different areas to your local store foundry. Consider you can use that also on top of it. Then practically how to do it. So just boundary and back. They are on the same infrastructure. But then the this Ames that you mentioned, honestly, it's blowing my mind. And another question I wanted to ask is, you mentioned something about it having a major agent, people that use that, also delegate orchestrator that delegates to other smaller agents. Who gets to decide the delegation? Is it in your prompt, or does the agent say, okay, this is too much, I'm going to build other smaller agents to do all these other things? Those are two questions that I have. Okay, so the first question, you can start. So, for example, I have, because of our time, I couldn't show, and we can also drop the link. So, there are a couple of, this is the agents harness, for example, where because the premise boundary, right, where you can deploy. So with this is leveraging on Azure CLI, right? You use that to extend to Azure instance, right? It also does some installation as regards some of the required right? It does some installation of some of the packages needed. So when you are done, this is from good perspective, right? What I do is from one right to Python script, right? All of those things. So there are also what's the word? You can check online on Microsoft platform to see some of the commands you can run to go install the requirements, right? You build whatever it is you want and just deploy. So you are doing that directly from your CLI. There's that option, right? There's also the option of Microsoft Visual Studio extension, right? The extension is called Foundry Tool, which is what I have see here, right? So within this Foundry Tool, I've extended now. So if you notice, so if I refresh this now, see if I will. So publish this. Publish. So the initial show. So an initial agent that I built is this learning assistant, right? You can see this learning assistant. If I go back to my VS Code, you can see it here. And you can see the logo here shown on back. So it means that I've integrated together. So whatever it is I created. So say I go ahead and add any additional information, I can just publish and sense that change in Microsoft Foundry. And then if I build also in Microsoft Foundry, I can edit from the list. So that's answering that first part. So the second part is regards deciding your orchestrator. Right? So it's two things. If you are building it customized, then it's within your profit to ensure you specify that workflow such that when he sees a particular prompt, he's able to decide this prompt does it require just a simple sequential flow? If it requires that, push it that flow and take the response. But if you understand that example, and so for example, you say you should build a website, you understand that that's a lot of things. I will need to front end, back end. I will need to get a lot of things, right? HTML, for example, let's say what HTML, what say is something as a XJS app. It's a lot of you used to just download the packages, install it, build the code, to run it, to build. There's a lot of things. In that case, you understand that I will probably go and use the codes. For example, I have the workflow called code developer. You will use that particular workflow. And that workflow now, because you built it to have the ability to sort agent activities, just spin up. So because you spin up an agent from there. That one does the activity, does whatever. Does another agent for backend, maybe another agent for integration. This go down. And maybe another one even for database optimization. Goes to your server, runs everything, it says it's fine. And then there's now the last one, who does different reviews, ensure the passes or it's passed. So it is within your purview. Now take note, that's if you are building something. But if you are using things like Copilot Studio, right? CLI. We are using things like Cloud Push. They built those functionalities into those tools. Remember, they are just harnesses. So Copilot Studio is a harness. Cloud is a harness. Even Gemini stuff is also a harness. Right? So all these are just harnesses. What we are seeing that's happening in this they are enriching those harnesses to have different capabilities that usually submit for kilo. Now, the basics of all that is that all the things we've run through this slide are features that we see that are responsible, that are available across these harnesses. So, say you are building something from the ground up, it means that you can leverage all those existing things in your own harness. We have another question. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for that amazing section. It was really sad. There are a lot of things I want to talk about, but because of time, I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to see you after the event. There are some things I need to ask you about the Hermes and Microsoft company, so I'll put you personally for that. And if you still have any question, if you put it on the chat, or if you're watching on YouTube or link, I believe later we'll be able to ask it. But right now, I want to introduce the next speaker. So the next speaker here, I really hope I get his name correctly. We have Mr. MCTNAIJA-TechUSERGROUP-Microsoft. He's a software engineer. But I'm not getting a round of applause. Let me see Robbie's keep coming. Keep coming as he's making his way to the stage. Mr. MCTNAIJA-TechUSERGROUP will be taking us on an amazing topic, that is Lab 501. So what it's about is going to be taking us from zero to deploy on Azure with AI agents. So I want you to get ready. Those guys that build, especially those of my guys that build AI agents that know how to deploy it. This man is going to teach us how it's done. So let's put our hands together to welcome Mr. MCTNAIJA-TechUSERGROUP-Microsoft. Good morning, everyone. My name is MCTNAIJA-TechUSERGROUP. And yes, we actually had to change the settings. So we are going to be doing a little bit, not a little bit, what the just announce. Okay. And we'll be getting all right. So while we are waiting for Mr. Junior to set the system up, I think this is my opportunity to ask my big silly question. So during the last week, when he was presenting, I saw how we can integrate these habits to even begin to work on to-do list. I know it not just came to my mind. I've been struggling with finding the best to-do list for myself. You know, most of these to-do lists, you write what you want to do and seek it when you're done. So I was wondering, is it possible to get to integrate MS or Microsoft agents in such a way that it's how instead of interact with voice, give it voice prompt. So is it possible to integrate it in such a way that instead of giving a notification reminder, it can call? Does it have an extension to physically call a phone? It does. All right, let me give you the mic.
So yes, so this can be you can set up to where it's either leveraging on WhatsApp, like for it's leveraging or some other activity where if you give it a phone number, it's able to call you. So we see people use it for call service agents or sales agents.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. You won't believe this semester and so we're building a group. So this project is a farm. It's supposed to be let me say junior for the farm industry. So this platform we call it Orafa. So yes, as you can see, I'm trying to Orafa too. So what this platform does is it connects the farmers, it connects the marketplace and connects those who owns maybe storage facilities, tractors, connect them together on a single platform. And one of the issues I raised up was if we are going to try to reach out to these farmers, some of them may not be able to speak. Some of them may not have access to the smartphones that we have, maybe just a button for. So I'm saying if there's a way we create an AI agent that is able to pick calls, so once they talk, is able to automatically detect which language they are speaking and respond to them. Then maybe they're asking a question that is beyond what AI can add is and then refer them to any physical virtual assistant that is there who can understand their language. But at the moment, we could not find anyone, so I think that part of the project was on hold. But as I'm going back to school, I already got to do. So thank you so much, sir. Then let me just check in. Is Mr. Are you ready? All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Haj.
So, good morning, everyone. Like I said, studio here, something here. And today's demo, I'm going to be taking you guys ability in AI agents. So today we are going to be deploying an AI to our foundry, and then we are going to implement some evaluation ideas. We are going to analyze the agents, okay, and then we are going to also try to provide results and get those evaluations. Zero. So, can you see, look at the drag it to your screen. Drag it to your Pilot is asking just between so, and also if this is your first time starting private, so yeah, I'm going to ask you to indicate return accounts. Yeah, so authenticating trying to log into my
So he's
jumping into the next lab, which is titled Observe, Optimize, and Protect Your Hosted Agents in Microsoft. So now this topic, of course, Microsoft Build training, and we're going to be having a demo, which is a lab, and a comment session as well. It's important to note that this topic is around the concept of responsible AI, right? When building, hosting, and integrating agents. And with me here is an amazing community leader, Microsoft community leader. I always find it very difficult to pronounce his name at every point. His name is Mr. Oluwaseyi. Oluwaromi Ju. All right. Yeah. So he's actually we're going to be working together, making sure that we have amazing demo experience. And also we have a panel session as I mentioned earlier. And I'm going to be inviting two amazing speakers, MCT, to the stage, Mr. Paul Barnabas and Mr. Shegu Oduni. I hope I pronounced that. A round of applause for them. Round of applause for them. Just keep Thank you. All right. You comfortable? All right. So, I mean, we've been hearing responsible AI, responsible AI, responsible AI. I mean, it's so important that while still building, have to be responsible. So I'm just going to ask the questions first. And this is to start sharing. So, check what is your idea of responsible AI when using the Microsoft?
So, thank you very much for that question. So, whenever we train on AI, it's experience that we speak about physical responsible AI. And it's because we are giving power to create something. It's very important that they have the guidelines, the rules that should guide creation. So when you're creating something, you don't abuse it. So if you don't understand the rules, it's going to be difficult for you to build something that will guide human life. So in time past, we have had AIs that have actually been involved in harming human beings. Maybe humans advised to take their life and so many other things. And so Microsoft came up with rules of responsible AI, talking about fairness, accountability, when you run a BIOS, right, it's able to help you fine-tune those agents. It's able to make sure those agents are powerful enough to useful enough. They are tuned in such a manner that they are giving you the respective the desired result. Right. So it's very, very important that you carry out the task. And they can come up in different ways. Right. So they can be an evaluation, evaluating the quality of the response. Right. There's also the evaluation that identifies if it's using the tools and right? The quality of that information also is talking. So these are some of the different reasons why you still feel that no matter what. Whatever you think you want to understand the problem. You want to understand how to address it. You also want to understand what are the platforms where I will be engaging with that type of agent. So how do I want to solve it? Now he has given us a solid foundation on interfacing, that's doing integration to Microsoft platform to the devices to have and so on and so forth. So we have decided option efficiency going on, right? So in terms of the turnover, so people are doing 60,000 per day. Is it? We want to understand what are the bottlenecks. So it's from problem solving for are we trying to improve efficiency? Are we trying to solve some problems that we have? Is it that this issue of theft that we are facing? So with that, then have those cameras installed, we're able to count. We have RFID sensors positioned at different spaces on the lines. These are counting and so we set up a baseline. Those baseline is what we are using to evaluate if it's meeting the stipulated criteria. So on this line, I'm expected our 6,000. It's giving me 4,000, right? And so we can see do a root cause analysis. Now we understand all of that. We can now take that whole information into now saying we are building an agent to solve. So we enrich that agent, that's how we're getting source, we define our baseline, then we're I think if you explain it in that way, you're able to such.
Thank you. So this section is like going to be follow-up answers. And this is for Mr. Paul Banner. So modern agents, people say modern agents fail differently. So looking 2 years ahead, what is the next failure mode you think we're not monitoring yet? And how can we prepare
next
failure mode you think we're not monitoring yet, like for the future? And how do you think as regards their adoption modern agents, yes? Yes.
Okay, thanks for that question. I think, yeah, so we are increasingly seeing the maturity of AI models, right? They are becoming so smart, they are becoming so intelligent, and they are becoming so powerful. And an example of this is the recent release of Claude Microsoft. About it was already some months back, but they did not release it to the public because it was so powerful with some of the validations that were done. We found out that there were some bugs that have been in some of the big solutions like Linux, distros, so on and so forth that has been there for like 20, 25 years, and they were not able to identify. And they ran the Microsoft model against a couple of these solutions, and they were able to find those bugs. So that is AI for right? Because they are using it from the perspective of trying to understand how do I solve these problems. But if that same model is in the hands of an exploiter or a hacker, what it does is that he will exploit that vulnerability, right, and put people at risk. As I found your information, a lot of things will go wrong, right? That was why they initially just called off on the piece. They engaged a couple, I think they set up like a group called Project Glasgow, and they got in some couple of organizations, big organizations, which signed in and joined that group, and then they released that model. So based on the usage of the model within those organizations, they were able to fine-tune MITREs. Right? And then when they saw that got to the level that is safe and it aligns with the responsible AI requirements, right? They released the version. People was released a couple of these now, and this will be coming very soon. So what am I trying to address with this explanation is that as good as AI is also being used
technical issue here online, so I don't know if you can still hear me. Okay, I'm just waiting for the projector to come up so that we can just continue. Okay, thank you very much. And please, if you have questions online, don't hesitate to just drop it. We are moving to the point of okay. We're back on the screen now. So we have seen several. Now, another thing we need to look at is how this is translating towards the speed. You can see this 13.2 seconds. That means the model I'm using, and probably instruction is being guided properly, the prompting. Then you can also see, because this is where you need to know your response token, and that's where you divide into one is the token that determines the money you are paying. And if your token is go AY here from the input for output, that means going to translate to your money. And the essence of being very observant is to take care of that for the business. The business wants to spend less and get more profits. So at this point, I think we are still okay. Then we can also trace it, how it's being done, what you can see from the point of transaction, the institution of what's happening, the messaging. You can even trace it down to each of the language that each of these prompts is giving you, and the response the model is giving us. So let's go back. So we can also ask the question, can anybody just, before we go to the monitoring, so we have enough prompts. Any other question? An IT agent, support agent, what can we do? My laptop connects to Wi-Fi. Okay, that is very quick one. A very common one that we have. My laptop could not connect to the Wi-Fi. They don't say internet, Wi-Fi. So let's see what the answer is give us. So let's see that we check the second time. That's quite fast. So in Yoruba, in Igbo people will help us here, whether it's correct. And in outside, I don't have a clue about that. But it's still, I think the first response was 13 seconds. But we are seeing about 16 seconds here. And we can see, we can also trace it. Igbo, is this correct? Is this okay? Igbo, those are, I know you are Lagosian. Yeah. You might not be able to read. It's okay. Yeah. It's correct. Yeah. Oh, it's correct. Oh, it's correct. It's correct. It's correct. Okay, great. So we have this now. So the next step we need to do now is to go to the monitoring area. Let's navigate to our projects. Let's go to our projects. We'll just take a little step back. These are project 6. So where are you? These are projects. State of the level back. Okay, let me try from It's coming up. Sorry, please. My internet is a little bit so let's it off now. Let me see. I can see. It's coming. Online, can you see my screen? Okay, let me just share full screen. Share your screen. I'll share it back once I can establish. Okay, so this is where we are. So let me go back. Okay, so you're able to see my screen online. Now, I'll go back from the operation. I was able to get to my agent Jessica, and from the new console, if I open my Jessica agent now, it will give me details, traits, and monitor. Detail, traits, and monitor. So one monitoring cost, and once I click monitoring, now it's also helped me several things that Paul already said, like evaluation. Why do we evaluate sometimes is to bring, we know where we are trying to automate a process. We should also know that as you're automating it, you need to have like a feedback. What's happening with your agent? Why your agent is responding slow or fast? And that is what you can do. And also, you can see the metrics. For example, you can say I've already used 3.6K, 6.3K, and I can also schedule probably my evaluation. I can configure it. Now, if you scroll a little bit down, you see the operational metrics, which the how the agent is running, and it is counted against the time, which is the dates. And each of them depicts, I think we are back. I'll just check, go back to the editor, and I think it's let's see, okay, and I'll go back to my restream environment, and we share the screen, and then you will see shortly too. Okay. So what I did is that from the build, I went to my agent, then from the agent, I went to the monitor. Now, I was saying here that the monitoring gives us the ability to have understanding of how much you are spending, to the process, to send back or to give you what we call how you evaluate the model against the agent, whether it's perfect or it best fits for you. And when you can configure it, the process of configuring it is to put some
tight with time, and you want to ensure that when you need it is when you put it there, so you can schedule it. So we're going to configure that. Then other things you can see: schedule configuration. Schedule is probably an issue, but one more important thing you need to look out for is operational metrics. It's a guide that can tell you when you started, when the agent started, how many of the process completed from the prompting. Can be only 2 prompts you have here. Then you can also look at how much in terms of token. Token is a way AI measure how much you are spending. And each of the prompts, they call it tokenization. It's giving an attribute, which can be like numbers. And each of them counts to the amount of token you are taking from your token store. Although by default, Azure family has a way by which you can scale this. You can also mask it down or lock it down, so that within that range, people don't go beyond the cost of your budget. Now, if you scroll down, you can also see total call and how the agent is running. And this helps you to either want to optimize your agent in terms of process, in terms of how it's responding, or you want to leave it the way it is. Then we have error, and fortunate for me, there is no error today. Maybe tomorrow. That's why it says error or then if you have configured the evaluation, you still get the same graph as we have here. So the bottom line is, whenever we are deploying an agent, we should put it in mind that sometimes we need to be able to look at how the request is going, what is the value taken from your token. And that can help you to even budget. If I want to deploy a particular solution, how long will it take to respond to me if after creating the agent? And sometimes, every time you have failed requests, it triggers this for the moment. Maybe let's go back to our prompts. Let's see whether we can do something. Let's go back to the playground. I think my internet is telling me that the projector is off again. I'll stop sharing, then I'll share through my system again, so that people online can also join. So I'll share again. Just lost my connection. Okay, you can see it. So let's go back to the foundry. Let me do this now. Let's see again. I probably just disconnected. So I want to go to the playground, and I want to see whether I can simulate some failed response. Maybe it would have been good when the light went off. Could have captured that time that it failed. Share mobile phones. Sorry, I'll just be talking to it. What I did a prompt now. I want to see whether the response time. Let me just put a question mark and see what the response of the agent will be. So you can see here that even it's still giving me is the projector back now? It's somewhere. Okay. We have is that on the network? Share screen again. It's that's 10. I'm just trying to prompt, setting different prompts, trying to test my agent. See why is my network unstable, also set prompts about question mark, and you seem to have confused my response. I go back to the monitoring. So it's I want to say my token has increased to 5.9, but I've done some other prompting, and it also guides me about how many tokens and what the agent is doing against probably another agent I have there. And the error rate is still, I want error, but it's not giving me error, it's 0. So maybe with more use of this Chester agent, and have more. So let's look at the tracing. So data generated when application inside, but you know we need to enable this. Because when you enable this, the risk there is that the cost of application insights determine, because the more you use it, it goes to your code base, go to your application that running on Azure funding, and begin to give you information about what is happening, what is wrong, when your service is off, or when the code has some efficiency. All this now is counted to your Azure subscription, which I don't want to put at this point. So you can run the trace if you want, and you can also try to create a database for it. And these are all the conversation I have, and fortunate for me, all of them are still very, very completed. And if I look at others that may failed, it's 0, just like the graph says. And if you go to the completed, it gives you the complete sense of what has happened, and the time, and how many of whatever you are using in terms of the measurement in the currency that you have there. So the details is a new feature, and what it tells you is like when you have your service on your computer or your server, what does the service do? It gives you all the services that is running on your computer, and each of the services has dependency. So sometimes you might need to know what and what is connected to your agent, and you can see here we have this agent running, and it also tells me the version that the endpoint. That means sometimes I might want to consume it, maybe to my web service or mobile service. You edit it and you be able to look at the version. For me now, I have 2 of these versions. So each of these versions can tell me how the endpoint and the channel that it can work. Then on the platform of identity, it also tells me the identity I'm using for Cheska, and it also gives me the ID. If you scroll to the endpoint, the same the response and the endpoint itself, then the protocol you can set that up, and the channel that I can use it on preview web. The preview web now, that means I can open a website and it should be able to give me my Cheska agent at the web. But developers can carry this on and ensure they put it on proper place to consume it. So I can do the same thing. Why is my network not connecting? The same we have on the playground. It's going to give us the same response. And I can turn it to code. I can try to set up some other things in terms of privacy. I can share it, probably if I want to take it, scene and the rest. I can also copy that link and share it with people. Okay. I think I'm having a lot of technical issue here. Maybe we should just go. Then before we close, I'm going to, I know as many of us that want to try this out, there is a Learn on Demand lab already provisioned for us till 6 p.m. today. So I will send you, if you are ready, I'll send you the link. But you have to do that lab, and that lab is, let me just bring it on certificates. The lab is so the lab is allocated to localhost-Surulere. Then, as many of you, I will send you the access code. So the access code is what we are going to use to log in. So I'll just showcase it. When the projector can showcase it there for those online, let me just set it up. I'll share the link. Once you get to the link, log in from the link. I don't know how many of you have used Scale before. You have not used, because the first thing it will ask you is to create an account. So you can use your Hotmail or any account that you want. Once you have create the account, you log in, then immediately it takes you to the build environment, which is made. So you sign in, you can sign in with Microsoft account, Google account, or because you have not created one. I think if you have a Google or Microsoft account, just log in with that. So once you are in, it takes you to the lab itself. It takes you to the lab. So, waiting for you to launch the lab. Okay, I'm going to the lab now. So the lab is for everybody here. I think for 30 people. If you are here, you can copy the code. The code is the access code is this. If you can copy it down, C6D4554F69E463309. So as I said, we must do it now before 6 p.m. So let's see what the lab is all about. I'll go back to our, because I don't know why the internet just decided to show me. Okay, it's coming back. So you must have an account there, then logs you in, then I go to my dashboard. You just go probably to the current one. Okay. This is my Microsoft MCT1. Let me go back to. So this is how you redeem it. You just put the code there once you don't know. And say redeem key. Once you redeem the key, it provision that app. So let me go back and launch the app so that we different from this. This is the name. Try it. So let me try it again. If you authorize me into where we started. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. Are you able to log in? Anybody trying? Let me log in. I think .net. If we have a work so whether we can do it so that everybody can there. Just log in then. Click on 2020. This right. It's still giving me my own advice. Let's let me go back to the instruction. I copy the text and I paste it here. Paste as in here. So this is it will come up with Microsoft 271. Then you can launch it. You are using anything about this for them to walk through and through on first to each what I did before we launch it. Launch into the cloud environment. So now by the side, for those that have not used scaling before, the instructions behind by the instruction are step by step on what you do. How many of us have tried to come? How do we get just also to LMS, learn HTTPS, LMS. How do we increase the are you there? Are you there? Can we just try it? That's loud. I think power went off. Power has been going off. I saw the internet just go off at the same time. I'm using Madam's internet now. C9E4C309. Not zero. Is zero. Is zero.
is for those online. You will the link for those online, the link for the, I'll put it on the chat now. The link for the lab, so it's there. Link for the lab. I'll drop it in the chats. Just check the chats. Okay, let me draw this on the chart. So that's the link. So are you able to come in? Everybody tried it? Network, right? Okay. Maybe what we'll do, just create a WhatsApp group. I'll drop the link and the lab ID. If you can quickly create it and add me, that'll be faster. When you can found it, then I think I'm back again. So this is the code. This is the link. This is the code. The link. Okay. If you have not used Learn on Demand before or Scalable, you first of all create an account. But if you have, just use the code. Use the code to log in. So once you are in, then you launch the lab, just as I did. You go to Built-in Training Key. Once you are in the lab, Built-in Training Key, then you put the key here, then you redeem it. It will launch the lab like I have here. So, and I said the lab is guided. The instruction, how you open the Foundry, the password you need, the resources, you create projects, then you explore catalog. Just the same thing that Paul told us in the morning. You have Server, you have Cloud, you have Gemini, you have Grok. Choose the one you want. But the instruction will tell you the kind of model. The basic instruction tells us we should use this, and the pricing is paid as you go. However, you are not paying, it is free. So that's why you have to do it in their environment. So you identify the model. This is how you identify the model. There are several ways you can identify model. You can do what we call comparison. You go to the model, open the model, and start comparing. That's what we call a benchmark. Let me quickly show us. Let me minimize this. Are you getting in? You are in, okay. I wanted going to show us the way it looks like in real life. I go to my Azure. Where's my Azure environment? Okay, this one Foundry. Now this is the agent we created, Cheska. So this, now when you go to your Microsoft Foundry, the instruction they want us to do is from the Foundry, you check out from the models. Then from the model, we want to see which one is best used for us. So when you discover that, you can go in several ways. This is one way. You can see all the agents, just go to the site. You can compare models, and you can explore models. So let's start with comparison of instruction. Now, the comparison here will tell you in several categories you can compare the model. One, in terms of quality. Two, in terms of safety. Three, in terms of token. How those tokens work for you per second. And it also gives you like a benchmark in terms of cost, because these are criteria that is important before you can deploy. Money, speed, and also the quality of the answer you get from your agents. And how safe. You can see some are very safe, some are literally average in terms of safety. Not that they're not safe, but when you look at what they use them to do in terms of the data, the large language model they use against that model, it also depicts how fast they are. Now, if you go back to the lab, so the other aspect, they want you to compare GPT 4.1 mini, GPT 4.1 Field. Field is a Microsoft own model. OpenAI is the owner of ChatGPT, which we know, GPT 4.1, it's out 3.0. Then the next task they want you to check is to check the model detail. How do you check the model detail? Once you have read the detail, you deploy it. The way you go about it is either go to the deploy, look at the program, the instruction, and start looking at the details. Or you just go into the model and choose the model. Choose the model, and once the model is chosen, you can drill down to the details of the model. It tells you everything about the model. Are you having problem logging into the lab?
Yes.
Who is having problem? What is the issue?
When you try to sign in, it won't allow you.
No, you must. Do you have an account? You have. Go into the account. Then, when you are in, it might be network if you can sign in. But you have used it before.
Yes.
Then sign in. It might be your network. Who else is having that problem? What is the problem? What are you saying? Can't sign in.
Sign in and then sign out.
Exactly.
Sign you and sign you out. So if a customer wants to sign in, they will sign you out. It's not okay, you use the link. Get them. I think it's a network. Are you using MTN? You are using it before. You are not. Okay. Sign in with probably.
I signed in with my
your Microsoft. If you are an MCT, it's a different ballgame. You have to ask or request for them to provision you as an MCT. But if you are using it as a normal user, it should not give you a problem. Let me simulate it here. Let's see what will happen. Let me open another. Are you? It's not going to there.
So we need maybe registrations.
You need a registration link then. I want to see what you are saying there. Because me, I'm still, it's signing me in as. Let me see. Let me use another browser. You're using Chrome, Abby?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what you were saying. I want to use, I will not use the account that I'm used to. This is it what you are saying?
Yes.
Okay, then you sign in. Sign in. I'm using another browser, using another account now. Okay, you enter ID at Microsoft account. Google. Okay, let me use this account. Why? It should. I don't think I have an account here. It should give me an error. It should give me an error. I said if I am registered. What is that saying? Can we search sign up for learning on demand lab, scalable lab? Just type it on Google, sign up.
They said you should give us the URL you used to sign in.
To what?
To log in into their CMS.
LMS.
Secretary State Training. Like they are supposed to give us the link using.
Incoming. Because that link is obviously very long. Let me see the email they sent to me. Okay, let me see whether I can copy the link. But obviously the link. No. Here's the link. Can we try this? too much. It's too much. Mhm. I'm true. I just want us to have that lab and do it. So I'm trying to prove.
But can it be sent to the groups?
And we don't have a group, except we create a group now. I cannot push the link, everything that with the lab that we can try from there.
I don't know. Maybe we have our speakers.
Uh, can we add one who is not in that? Can we create a group, a WhatsApp? No. Yes. Can we create the group? Let's create a group. Can we create a group? So for those online, I'll put the link again so that you can join with the link. And just chat me, then I can send you the code. You chat me and send you the code. Have you tried the link? Have anybody tried this link?
Yeah, it didn't work.
What errors is it?
He just directed me
To the login page. I think the system still wants you to have, or you that have, can you try this link? You have an account that's available. That's the direct lab link. Okay, this is elements. So, yeah. Let's change it. Let me get the C elements. You didn't go. Okay. So let's use this. If that didn't go, let's just look at one thing. Can we all try this? If you didn't go, then the form will group. Can you try this one? Plus, let's use the class link. If that directs one to the lab is not, let's use the class link. You just look at hosts, learn on the ground.
Where did he get you to? Login page.
Try to log in.
He's asking us to have, when you sign in, where did you take it to?
Can access it now. Okay. I open the lab, please. Any other person? Because it will direct you straight to the retention key. That link now directs you straight to the retention key. It's in the email. I don't check the email. Once you put the key, you enter the lab itself. Instead of just use the class link. So you just type https build localhost .learn on demand .net class then /754872 https column double / build localhost .learn on demand .net /class /75. Then you now put the code I showed you, just type it in. After entering the code,
Put that key I showed to see something. You didn't get it. Okay. It's the power is going off. The AC cut, the internet cut, and the it's power tripping.
Because it's the same time that all the internet also go off that is connected to power.
Can you go down to the
Right? And that's why it was. I'll show you now. Okay, now this is the link https build localhost learn on demand.net/class. Then our ID is 754872. Once you have that, then the code. This is the code. That's the code. This is the link. Visualize.
Yes, I'll be able to.
Okay. What I'm not saying. Try it now. Don't let go. Try it. No, try this new link. This direct to the class. Please. Try the new link. One. Localhost and on demand /class/754872. What you should bring you is to the redemption key area. Redemption key area. Did it take you there? Right? Once you are there, just sign in with your account if you have one before.
So Shane, can we see the link?
If you do not sign in, I got through. Yeah, I got through. Any other person? Yes, you can do that. Yes, anyone.
I'm going out.
It's a Are you on me now? Okay, can we start?
Okay, get started. Get started with one.
Yes. So this is. Basically, so what we are doing is that if you have a link on our homes and all of the rest. No.
The link to this in access lab. Check the link to the lab. Have you dropped the link on the? Is there the lab? Check. All right. Check now. All right. The one for the speakers. Is it there? The link is there. Okay. Okay.
Victor, are you available? Victor, I want to do. No, can you do yours now? Okay. So, while we are that, I think that's also the comments that just and just for you to whatever those practices give them the artists. So we should start doing that while we do some few discussion and then we also get questions.
Round of applause for Mr. Sheyi. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you to all our speakers. Thank you both in and online. Thank you also to Jessica Solutions for providing this amazing space for us. We hope to see you next time. I had forgotten to introduce myself. My name is John Andrew. So thank you. A round of applause for you all. Right, so I just want to ask a question. So what's the major takeaway for you? I think everyone should actually have a major takeaway from Microsoft Build today. If you have something to say, can you just raise your hand? Give us your major takeaway from today. Or can I meet someone? Am I free to meet someone? I think I'm free. Someone has been quiet, someone has not spoken today. So, yeah. So, let me ask. Chijoke was actually meant to take a session, but he had an activity. So, Chijoke, please want to take away from all we had.
Take away all of this is that AI is the future, okay? And businesses are adopting artificial intelligence, their day-to-day activities. And also, using AI has been quite expensive and has been getting more expensive. And for businesses to consider integrating artificial intelligence in their operations, then it has to be optimized. It has to be worth it. You don't want to overspend for the reward. So that is my
Thank you. Thank you. So Chijoke is saying that responsible AI must be adopted at every stage. Anyone else, please? Maybe brother at the back. Just introduce yourself. I don't believe you introduce yourself and then just tell us what you're doing.
So my name, so yeah, what like my takeaway from the conversation is to say, yeah, just have to the right thing. Because you cannot boycott AI because you just have to like learn how to make sure we what we want to control of AI. Like AI just get to by so I also feel like this one is used for like
Thank you. So initially, when we started this event, we had okay. So we had our first break. So I don't think I don't think we introduced ourselves. So I think we'd like to know.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Oibo Seniwell Wesley. ICT student, currently studying in Crawford University. Beyond school, I'm an IT support specialist. I'm also looking into becoming a dev, so I'm a dev enthusiast, and I'm also learning C#. So that's who I am. Currently the president of the National Association of IT Students in Crawford University.
Yeah, so there's something you actually mentioned. He said for their project, they're building like an app, yeah, for farmers. Was I remember correct?
Yes.
Yes. And I recall he mentioned that it's called Aura Farming, and I laughed because I have a teenage, she's about my senior 20, but a Gen Z, I have a Gen Z at home. So it's important that you know while you're building an app, just get on and think about the future. You should be inclusive. So I like that inclusive. I like the name of that. You're on the computer. So we're actually just jumping into the next event we are having soon. We are having a Microsoft Data Day, and that's with data and AI skill development initiative. So let's just have a break. I'm going to be having refreshments. So sit down, relax, and please. Very important. I don't know you. Yes, Mr. D, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. My name is Sunny. I'm instead of starting. Well, I knew Mr. Ken, so that was like I don't know.
You're welcome. We're happy to have you. That's fine.